Welcome to our podcast on conscious technology, where we explore the intersection of technology and consciousness and how it can help solve societal problems. Today, we have Dr. Michel, a PhD, founder of BlockSmith and CEO of AdoLE, with a colorful entrepreneurial journey in the US, contributing 30 years in research and development and semiconductor engineering, making an amazing things that changed the world in the mid-90s. Dr. Combs is here to share his insights and conscious technology and how it can help us to rise and change the world. Dr. Combs, first of all, can you tell us who are you and what is your background, please?
Well, first, thank you for having me and the kind words and presentation. And before starting, I would like to have one question for the audience. What make our consciousness rise last decades? Could it be the connectiveness or access to instant information and news? Indeed, we know what's happening 3 minutes ago in the other side of the planet. And so is there other factors that raise our consciousness? And how can it impact in the understanding of our world? So I'm sure that we will answer those questions during this interview. And so for my background, I was born with what we call a blind mind. That means that I cannot visualize images, and my brain, in order to adapt, developed an alternative way of imaginations. And so I do pay attention to all the detail, the clues visually, and that give me an extraordinary capability to understand the technology, the living organism, and that was really in my academic and career path. I started electronics at the age of 6, got a PhD at the age of 24, made 220 million integrated circuit in 96. So now I'm consecrated my last 10 years in focusing on technology and the use of it as a means of healing society. And so I'm very aware about the flip side of technology, is which can be used either for the bad or for the good. I mean, you take the example of the cleanest energy that we know, the nuclear energy. This is what we have from the sun. And it's also the most dangerous one. And so I realized that the choice is ours. And we can, it's our choice to make it good or make it bad. And since that moment, I understand that I'm the ambassador of conscious technology, that we are all in control how we use the technology. And the intention that we put when we use it either making it beneficial or not for humanity.
So it's actually the first time I heard about consciousness and technology together, because usually we put a silo between. So why you see them together?
Well, it's true that science keep them separate, and the main reason is because science doesn't answer the hard questions. The question like what is energy, what is consciousness, and so therefore we don't mix them up. However, this is true until we are unveiling technology that are so transformative that is totally shaking the foundation of society. And in that, it also presents like a new risk. And that's what we see today with AI. And its rapid development is that it's threatening the social fabric, the economy, the health. I mean, everything is shaken by the arrival of that powerful tools that we have at our disposal. And because of that, the use of technology for good is very linked to how we intend to use AI. And so conscious tech is making sure that, like Nick Bostrom said we have only one chance to get it right with AI, because the risk is really high, and the conscious tech is to make sure that we grab that one chance. And so it is a technology with a goal in mind.
And when you're talking about mind, what would that actually create, conscious AI or conscious technology in real life?
The importance that it can create a better world if we are aware of the impact that it has on the people, on the environment, on the living. And it's more than like what we say in medical tech, we say do no harm. And it's beyond that. Is that not only do no harm, but be syntropic, be in harmony with the living. And so it's all turned down with one simple question, is that all our thoughts, all our actions, all our moves, are they syntropic? Meaning are they supporting life? Are they reducing entropy, aka chaos of this world?
And well, I see it globally, but maybe could you find one concrete situation? For example, we are lately talking about earthquake or tsunami or war or even lack of food and water. How do you solve that with a conscious technology?
Yeah, so there's true there. We see a lot of dividing the distribution of resource, significant disparities. That means the different region of the world, they have different industrial advancements, different allocation of the resource. Mm-hmm. Some regions are struggling, but basic needs, like you said, safety, water, food, and all those. And on the other hand, there is other area where we have the luxury to spend our energy on fulfilling higher needs, higher spiritual needs. And so the thing is, to be able to address those basic needs, it's required to be conscious of it. It's required the conscious development. And that's where it can be part of the solution. And innovation often comes where we are struggling, where we are stuck, where we are cornered. Because when we cannot move in the real world, this is how we expand in the virtual, in the spiritual world. And that's the act of the creation, is bringing down the solution from the consciousness down to earth, basically.
So if I understand you correctly, is as if consciousness will be the source, and whatever domain you are looking at, shall it be food and water, shall it be healthcare, it always needs to go back to what is the consciousness here, right?
Yes, no matter which domain it is,
exactly.
Especially in the artificial area, intelligence, it brings the full knowledge and the expertise at all around the globe. It's like the knowledge is now omnipresent. Anyone can access it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like we commoditize the collective knowledge. And so now what we do with that knowledge. So it's not a question of now the leaders of this world is the one that have the information, the one that have the education. Mm-hmm. No, now the plane is leveled. Everybody has education. Everybody has access to the knowledge. So how do we use it? How do we create it? And can be used in a fair use goal, but it also can be used for fantastic purpose, for research, for all those brand new areas of exploration of humanity, comprehension of our brain, and all those. But it's always just a tool. And there will be always a human mind or a conscious living being in the chain of decision. Because AI is only spitting out what it's training data. Mm-hmm. And so there is no sentence there. It's like we need the human, we need the consciousness to be able to recognize the pattern. Out of randomness, we can recognize the good from the junk. I mean, if you look at, remember when you look at the clouds, have you even recognized shapes, animals, faces, in the clouds? And that's what it is that we recognize pattern out of something that is purely chaotic. And so that's also what makes it dangerous too, because in critical system, it's like the Russian roulette, you let it go just to random data for making decisions. So it's very important that we mix with all those, what I call it synthetic intelligence, we mix and we combine with consciousness.
So in your mind, how will it be possible concretely to indulge people to get awareness about consciousness and how important it is over getting information, over getting education or just intelligence, that consciousness is actually leveling up now?
Well, it is that the tools give us access to more knowledge, more information, and that's why we get more aware. We know what's going on. And it's always reflecting. Like you always have the technology that is paired with the innate capability of the human being. We are capable of sensing things much better than any machine that we invent. And so, it's all the gut feeling, the intuition, and there's so much areas that is unexplored and understood in the brain. And so it's a question of how do we combine what the machine is good at? Memory. I mean, we have more hard time to memorize than the machine. The machine you can store, all your lifetime, or even dump all your brain thoughts on a disk drive, and then will not fail at recording that. So if we combine the memory capability with the decision making of the human, that's fantastic. The risk that we have is that we get so dependent on our device to our daily life that we lose our innate capability of our brain. We lose our organic intelligence. It's like remember when GPS were generalized. Now, there's a lot of people that get lost without the GPS. We have difficulties navigating from point A to point B without the GPS. But conscious tech is also the way we use it. Like we can use a GPS differently. It's like when you have to decide to go from point A to point B, we can read the map before and localize ourselves on the map without turning on the GPS. And then we verify with the GPS. And so that's a way of verifying, say, hey, it's like a gamified use of GPS. They say, hey, guess where I am? And then you point to the map, and then the machine say, hey, you're right. And this immediate feedback is the way of learning, the way we learn all the time. It's very important to have immediate feedback. But the tech doesn't need to be perfect. If it's too perfect, we will rely on it and we will lose our capability. If it's imperfect, then it's okay. The best error rate for learning in terms of organic learning is 15% of error. So that means if you have something higher than 85% of success and accuracy, it's bad for our human learning capability. It's like if you have a higher success rate, my recommendation is increase the difficulties of the game, so that you get more errors and learn. And so for conscious tech, there is always need to be three major elements. The first is the disclosure of intention. If you disclose your intention, in this podcast, we discuss that we want to raise awareness so that people get a better use of technology. Mm-hmm. And so that's our intent of our podcast. And so the second is also protect that intention so that it cannot be repurposed. That's the major drawback of all those fantastic tech is they get acquired, like OpenAI now is not open source anymore. It's closed source and it's for profit business. And if you protect so that you cannot repurpose, then you preserve the original intention. And the best way of doing that is leaving some room for life and an organic element in the process. If there is a living being associated with the tech, that will be the garant for the original intention.
Yeah, and the third, you said twice, second and third?
Oh, okay. So the first is the disclosure. The second is the protection of the technology. The anti-repurposing or whatever you call it, so that there is no bribe that is possible. It's like even at gunpoint, you cannot use the technology for that, And so we are capable of doing that. There is so many things that we can do with cryptography that really protect the technology, no matter what, even with legal things. It's just you sealed the intention within the technology. And the third is the room for organic element. Is the pairing with some living form that is conscious. We say you can only create life with life. and we can only create consciousness with consciousness. And so a pure synthetic intelligence will never be conscious. It has to have a consciousness to be conscious. So it's like the human body. If we consider the human body as a vehicle for a higher consciousness, it's just a tool that the consciousness used to experience life.
And to finish maybe here, Michael, the phrase that you said, technology will not save the world, but it will give us the tools so we consciously do it.
Yes, it's very important that we heal the society and the mind by delivering those technology with kindness. And so I have a lot of hopes in this, because even if we are in a world where we impose and inflict so much pain and suffering within the living world, the conscious technology is opening the doors for that better use, basically, and regenerating.
Exactly, and we really hope that this podcast together that we did will give our listening a better understanding of what are the potential of consciousness and conscious technology and how it can help us rise to change the world. Exactly, Mr. Dr. Kumbas. Thank you so much for your insights and your work on conscious technology and how does it become even better than this.
Yes, thank you. And like I say, is that our only choice is just to do it.
Just to do it. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Cindy.